In this video, we're going to cover how to arrange great shoutouts and shout for shouts. So let me just explain what they are. A shoutout is when you find an account that's much larger than yours and you pay them to promote you. So that's what a shoutout is. Now a shout for shout is different. That's when you find other accounts that are a similar size to yours and then you contact them and try and do a promotion for each other for free. So a shout out is paid with larger accounts and shout for shouts are free with ones that are the same sort of size as yours. So they're the difference between the two, but the process for arranging them is exactly the same. So let me just walk you through how to do that. So in terms of finding accounts that are relevant for yours, the way I do this is all within Instagram. So you can search by keyword at the top. So if you're in fitness, you could just type in fitness and then you'll see these top fitness pages that you can sort of go to and then contact them for a shout out. That's one way, keywords. The second way is hashtags. So let's say again that you're selling a fitness product, you want to find fitness bloggers who can promote your product. You can type in fitness blogger. And then if you go to people, so at the top you'll see this is just the top results. If you go to people, that's one way to do it, but it's not ideal. So that's mainly if they've got a fitness blogger in their username. So that's one way. But the better way to do it is if you go to tags, which is actually hashtags, you can click fitness blogger at the top. And then this brings all of the posts from people who have tagged fitness blogger in their post. So it's very, very likely that these people are all fitness bloggers. So what you can do is find people that way. Or a third way is, let's say, again, you're selling a fitness product, but it's just in a local area. Say, so for example, I'm in London. I could type in, like if I want to find gyms in London, I could go to, or people that go to gyms in London, I could go to fitness. Or actually, let me even do more specific and type in gym London. So if I then go, instead of tags, I go to places, this will bring up a list of all the gyms that are tagged in London. So I could type in, for example, Pure Gym here. And this will bring up all of the posts from people who have tagged themselves in at Pure Gym London Oval. So I could either contact them, as in people that have visited the gym, and then see if I can do a collaboration with them. Or a lot of the time is the actual Pure Gym London will have their own Instagram account, and then I can contact that account and say, hey, I'm local in London, I'm promoting this product, would you be interested in doing a shout out or a shout for shout? Like if they're the same size as you in terms of the number of followers, you can do a shout for shout, or if they're much larger than you can do a shout out. So they're the three different ways that you can find accounts. You can either do people, tags, or places. So for the example of this, I'm going to just type in fitness blogger. And then I'll go to tags, go to hashtags. And then let me just find one that looks like a fitness blogger. So let me use this lady here, Lena Hennig. So yeah, she's got 21,000.6 followers. So if you've got between like 18 to 24 or 25,000 followers, you can probably do a shout for shout with Lena, which means you can promote each other for free. So let me just think about the best way to do this. Like, since it's the same, I'll just show you this one example and then I'll tell you the differences as we go along. So whenever you want to arrange a shout out or a shout for shout, there's certain things that you need to do correctly. The first one is you want to make sure that they've got real followers. So the ways you do that are, if you click at the top where it says 21.6 thousand followers, just tap that and then you'll get a list of all of the people that follow Lena. And unfortunately, a lot of people on Instagram, they buy fake followers. So these people aren't real. And then you don't want to do a shout out with people with fake followers because then you're sort of wasting your money by promoting yourself to people that aren't going to follow you because they're fake accounts. Or if you're doing a shout for shout, again, it's just a waste of your time because they're not real followers. So if you want to check that they're real, just spend a few minutes scrolling down and see if they've got profile photos and like legit sounding usernames. And then every so often you want to just click one of them and see if they look real. So this person obviously looks real. They've posted content. They've got a normal sort of profile, bio and description and all of that. They've posted a story recently, which means they're actually real. And then you can also look at the number of people that are following them and the number of people that they're following. So they've got a normal ratio of people that are following them and people that they're following. And a massive sign that an account is fake is they'll have like 0 followers or 10 followers, and then they'll be following 8,000 people. Now, most people will not be following 8,000 people, especially if they themselves have barely got any followers. And a lot of the time they won't have posted content either. So that's a clear indication that an account's fake, is when they've got no content, barely any followers, and then loads of people that they're following, because it means they're just a fake account that's been set up by a company to sort of follow people that pay them. So that's how you check if your followers are real. And the other thing you want to do is, so this isn't like a foolproof method, because you can't spend all of your time looking down 20,000 people. Like if we click made here, they haven't got a profile name. So that's like maybe a giveaway that they're a fake account. And if you look here, they don't look like a fake account. Like they just look like they haven't really done much with Instagram. So they've got 2 followers, but they're only following 13 people. So that's probably not a fake account, because they're not following a lot of people. So there's a difference between, those that are fake and those that are just very inactive on it. So that's the first thing you should do. But what you can also do is look at the number of people that are liking and commenting on their posts. And the rule is never do a shout out or a shout for shout with someone whose engagement rate is less than 2 to 3%. So what I mean by that is, if an account has 20,000 followers, then on every single one of their posts, at least 2 to 3% of people should be liking and commenting. So that's like 100 people. My math is absolutely terrible, but I think that's 100 people. So on all of their posts, there should be at least 100 likes and comments. Don't always look at just the first one, because if it's posted recently, it might not have sort of got the maximum number of likes. But wow, Lena's got 1,157 likes. So that's incredible. So that's loads of followers. That's like almost 10%, which is really good. And then you just want to check through most of her photos. So Lena's got loads of likes and comments, so that's absolutely great. She's got most of them above 10%, which is insanely good. That one's got 3,000 likes. Wow. Okay. So that's what you want to do. Now, a lot of accounts, you'll see that they have not got 2 to 3% of engagement. And that's also another way that either you can tell that they've got a lot of fake followers, or they might be real and just the quality of the relationship that they have with their audience isn't that good. So you want to find accounts where the quality of the relationship is good, because there's no point, even if they're real, of them posting and promoting you if their audience doesn't care what they're posting about. So find ones with real followers and that they have a good relationship with the audience based on the amount of engagement that they get on their content. So let's say we found Lena now. She's great. She's got great engagement, real followers. Now, how do you actually arrange the shout out or a shout for shout? So what you want to do is you want to contact them via Instagram direct message. And the short term for that is DM. So whenever you hear me saying DM, it just means direct message. And the way you direct message someone is, if you go to the top right hand corner, you'll see the 3 dots there. If you click that, click send message, and then this is the great thing about Instagram, you can direct message absolutely anyone. Like, they don't have to be following you, you don't have to be following them. You can just direct message anyone you want. So you can say 3 things. That's what you should include. The first one is compliment them. Like when I've got like big accounts, a lot of them are like curated pages, like one's for travel, one's for fitness, one for fashion, things like that. So many times I'll get a message from someone wanting a shout out or a shout for shout, and they'll just say literally the word shout out ? And it's just like, it's so unprofessional or so rude, like to just go straight in for that. So I just never reply to those people. Like, it's good to put in a bit of effort and sort of really build or start building a relationship with them. So I'll say something like, hey Lena, congratulations on your account. I love your content. So that's the first thing you want to include, a compliment. Now, the second thing you want to include is why you're messaging them. So I'm going to say, I'm offering a range of healthy snacks, and I think you'd be a great person to collaborate with. So now you're saying why you're actually messaging them. Now, what you say in the third bit is how you're going to close the deal. So this will depend on whether you're doing a shout out or a shout for shout. So if you've got a similar number of followers, say 20,000, then what you'd say is, since we have a similar number of followers in the same industry, not undisputed, industry, would you be interested in doing a shout for shout? And in case they haven't heard of the term, you can also put in brackets like free cross promotion collab. All right, my spelling is absolutely terrible, but autocorrect will do it for me. Right, so that's what you can say. And then, you know, add a smiley or whatever you want. Doesn't really matter. Yeah. So that's what you can say if you want to do a shout for shout. You're highlighting the fact that you've both got a similar number of followers. You're in the same industry. So do you want to do a free collaboration? That's for a shout for shout. Now, if you want to do a shout out, so let's say you're just starting your account. You've got like 10 or 50 or 100 followers. So doing a shout for shout is not going to work because she's not going to want to promote you for free if she's got 21,000 followers and you've got like 50. Like, it's just not going to work. So for that, what you want to do is you get rid of all of this. And instead you can say, so hey Lena, congratulations on your account. I love your content. I'm offering a range of healthy snacks and I think you'd be a great person to collaborate with. Do you offer shout outs, and if so, what are your prices? Not processes. In fact, I'll say, what are your offerings / prices? So the reason you want to include the word offerings is there's several different ways to do a shout out, and the influencer or the account that will be doing it for you can tell you what they offer. So for example, they can offer you a 1 post shout out or a 2 post shout out or a 3 post shout out, and they'll have different prices for each of those. Or they can do a cheaper one, which is they won't do an actual post promoting you, but they'll mention you in a caption of one of their normal posts. Or another one that's come about recently is if the account's really big, like they've got hundreds of thousands of followers or millions, you can even pay them just to follow you or to like and comment on your last 3 posts, because then that will show up on all of their followers' activity feeds, and then that's also a great way to get some additional exposure. So there's all of these different ways that they can actually promote you. So it's good to just mention what are your offerings and prices, and then they'll tell you what they actually offer and how much it costs. So if it's within your budget, then obviously go for it. But what I do recommend you doing is, even if you find one that you really like, it's good to then message a few others and then sort of compare the prices of what they're sort of charging, and then you can pick the one that's got the best engagement and relationship with the audience, and also gives you a really good price. So never just go for one, because then you've got no point of reference of how much you should be paying. But if you do several, then you'll always be able to sort of make sure that you're paying a fair market price for what you're getting. So that's how you do shout for shouts and shout outs. So let's say that I sent that message and she replied with a list of what she can offer. Then what you would do is just say, great, I'm interested in doing a 1 post promotion where you'll just pay her to do 1 post that promotes you. And then what will happen then is you can either send them the post that you want them to post about you. So for example, if you're a new business or you're an influencer, you can literally send her the photo that she's going to post and promote on your behalf. And then you can also send her the caption that you want her to include. So You can leave it to them if you want, but for all of my shout outs that I do, or shout for shouts, I'll literally tell them what I want them to post and what I want the caption to say, and then they'll do that. And then if it's a shout for shout, they'll then send it to me, and then I'll do that as well. So that's what you want to do. And then once you've got those details, you've agreed that that's fine, like you want to go ahead with the shout out, then you confirm the day and the time with them. And then that's basically everything. You've told them that you've agreed to do a shout out or a shout for shout. You've got the content that each of you or one of you will be posting. Then you've confirmed when and at what time and what day you'll actually be doing the post, or they'll be doing the post. And then finally, before they actually do the shout out or the shout for shout, if it's a shout out, you'll have to pay them. And then for that, they'll give you their payment details. And normally you do have to pay them before they do the shout out. So don't be put off if they ask for the money beforehand, because 99% of the time that's how it works. So if you can, the ideal way to do this is through PayPal, because when you send the money via PayPal, you can sort of get the protection from PayPal. So if you send them money and they don't do anything, in PayPal you can raise it as a dispute and say they didn't post the promotion as required, so give me my money back. And then PayPal will sort of handle that for you and get you your money back. Whereas if you can't use PayPal, the second best option is a credit card, because if you do it by a credit card payment to whatever their payment processor is, then if they again don't do it, then you can sort of call up your credit card provider and sort of try and get a charge back to return your money. But most of the time, if you're using like good influencers, which you should be, like you only have to pay for them if you're doing shout outs, and that will be with large accounts. So I've never had a problem with large accounts trying to rip me off or anything like that, because they've got a reputation to maintain. Normally you can tell like that they're decent, and you know they've got like hundreds of thousands of followers. Like they're going to care about their reputation, and they're very likely are going to be very professional. So I've never had a problem with that. It's just a suggestion that if you can, try and use PayPal, and that is the standard way to pay. Any PayPal as the chosen payment method. So that is the whole process of arranging great shout outs and shout for shouts. Like it's very simple. You find the account that you want to use, you want to check that their followers are real, you want to check that they've got a great relationship with the audience based on the amount of engagement they get per post. Then you want to contact them via direct message. If they don't reply, try other ways of communicating with them. So if you go back to Lena's profile, she's also got a message and an email button here, as you can see. So you can try those as well, and hopefully you'll get a reply then. And then once they get back to you with either a yes or a no, and if you're paying for it, they'll offer you like the list of what they can offer. Then just sort of confirm all of those details, send them the money if it's a shout out, and then that promotion will happen. And then that's essentially it. Like you'll just start seeing the results, hopefully, of like people engaging and starting to follow you or buying your products, whatever it is. That's how shout outs and shout for shouts work. And there's just a little other point that I wanted to mention. So when you're doing a shout out or a shout for shout, if you're doing it for the purpose of making sales, which will require like your website, for example, you can also ask them to include your website link in their profile. So as you can see here, Lena's got this link here, but if you arrange to do a shout out or a shout for shout that will last 1 hour on her profile and then it'll be deleted, you can ask for, during that 1 hour slot when she's posted the content, that she also includes your link in her profile, and then in the caption she can say check out this amazing company or influencer, and a link to their content or products or services is in my bio. And then that will direct traffic to that link, and then that'll go to your website. But that's optional. Obviously, if you just want them to go to your profile on Instagram and then follow you, that's the other alternative. So that's how you do shout outs and shout for shouts. Very simple, very straightforward. The main thing is to just ensure that you're choosing the right people and then executing the process properly.